Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. Dead.
Deadlights Pod.
Welcome to the Deadlights Podcast. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm your other host, Leslie. And we're bringing you another week of horror.
Yet another.
Another one.
Another one.
101.
101. We're in the hundreds now.
We are. Damn.
Off we go. Triple digits.
Goodbye.
And we landed on one that was featured actually in the 31 days of horror movies and popped its head back out again. Here it is. What I find weird too is that the two movies that we've picked from the 31 days so far are two of the movies that you weren't there for.
Isn't that crazy?
The Bucket is like, Leslie's got to see these too.
She didn't see them before, yet she's here making the podcast with you.
So she's got to see them.
So she's got to see them.
And I was pretty excited about this poll because it's one of my personal faves.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are again.
So what did we watch?
We watched Child's Play from 1988, directed by Tom Holland, written by Don Mancini, John Lafia, and Tom Holland. A single mother gives her son a much sought-after doll for his birthday, only to discover that it is possessed by the soul of a serial killer.
We don't dive into that all that much.
Serial killers or dolls?
Serial killers.
Okay, gotcha. Just want to make that clear. You're right. We really don't.
Yeah, so I'm just like, how many people did he kill? Why?
He killed enough people to at least have a name. He was called the Lakeshore Strangler.
I got the Strangler! Wabash it!
He was prolific enough for the media to coin a little name for him.
Yeah, that is true. But nobody seemed concerned. Everybody moved about.
Well, I guess we start the movie with his death. So everyone's like, we got him. We're good. Strangler's off the streets of Chicago. So we can be safe now.
Yeah, we're in Chicago.
We're in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's another part of this movie that I do love.
That train looked pretty familiar.
Very familiar. A lot of familiar spots downtown, especially. They're doing a lot of stuff in the Loop if you know the Chicago area. So it was fun, definitely, to be like, oh, I know that spot. I know that street. Another thing I think that we should just preface too before we get into it is we have the first film of what will become a franchise and also what will become a very iconic horror image.
Yep.
Chucky doll.
Freaking Chucky, man.
Yeah, he is infamous at this point.
Chucky is a horror icon. I get the same reaction from people today as I did back then. You know, it's always either, oh, Chucky, you know, if they find out that I do Chucky, or it's, oh, that thing. Oh, my God, that thing just scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
There was a real strong kind of public reaction to it. The movie's about some of our darkest nightmares as children. I don't think people were expecting to be that freaked out.
It's always fun when we get to look back at these movies that have become so famous and loved and feared and have just blown up beyond these movies. But we get to go back and watch these original ones to see where it all started and see what they were setting up here to then be carried on through a franchise. So why don't we just jump into the first one? Child's Play, 88, The Can.
Hell yeah.
Pop that open. I was going to pop.
Oh,
I didn't jump on it. I didn't jump on it fast enough.
You know.
Not smooth.
Edit. You can edit.
That's the power of editing. I love you, editing. First of all, I wanted to, as far as the filmmakers go, I wanted to mention Don Mancini, who is on the writing credit of this movie. Chucky is kind of his brainchild. He even gets a story credit in this movie. And he is the one that then carries the franchise after this first one. He is always either on the writing team or the directing team or at least the story team of every single Child's Play movie.
Like any horror fan, I had seen The Talking Tina, Twilight Zone, and I was a fan of that killer doll concept. But it occurred to me that that had never been done in such a way where you could treat the doll as a full-fledged character.
I had started off as an illustrator for Jim Henson, and then I did An American Tail. Disney had just signed me to a deal and thought that I would do family entertainment and animation for them. The first project that I bring to them is this project that would become Child's Play.
David and I think one of the reasons we initially bonded was that we both had this unabashed love of the horror genre, and we're not people who condescend to it. We really do love it, and we're incredibly thrilled and proud that this movie that we made 20 years ago and the character that we presented to the fans has really been embraced in such a big way.
That goes towards his passion for this character and for the franchise. And I appreciate that about him giving the respect to this iconic character to want to continue it and to see it through in the right way.
Even the TV show?
Even the TV show.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. I believe he's written a couple of those episodes and directed a couple of them.
It's just such a funny concept to have a horror character be a doll.
It's silly. It plays on those fears, though, that people think that dolls are creepy. We bring it to this supernatural place that plays on those fears.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Child's Play hit at a perfect time where we had killer and evil dolls movies before Child's Play, many of them. But in the 80s, we're getting to a very commercialized and merchandised place in society.
Now you can have your very own good guy doll. That's right. You can have all the adventures we have on TV in your very own home. Right, Oscar?
Hi, I'm Oscar, and I'm your friend to the end. Wow!
When this came out, I think was also a very important time for its success, because what we're seeing depicted in this movie is exactly what was probably going on in a lot of people's homes. Buying things that we see advertised on TV, going to malls. She works in a mall. So, yes, I think that this doll, evil doll, killer doll concept just really landed at the right time. Don Mancini and these other guys that also wrote it and directed it really just were able to capitalize on the fact that we are very much living in a capitalistic society, especially at this time.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho.
Going along with the killer doll, I also think that it's reflected in how they're shooting it too. We're getting a lot of really low shots because not only is this movie about a killer doll, we're also coming from somewhat of a perspective of a child.
Yeah.
The main character is a kid.
Heidi-ho. I saw this one.
So I think that they did a good job as far as the cinematography wise to actually put us in the shoes of the character and also sometimes the shoes of the killer.
Yeah, and with that, the sound editing of his little skirts, it was so funny. It's just really hard for me to find this movie scary, even when I was a child. I believe the one in the 90s came about, and so then there was a resurgence of like Chucky stuff, and I remember in preschool the children would be talking about Chucky, and they were so scared, and I was like, meh. And it's because it's just like cute. He's just so cute. He's just like, you know,
Those little legs.
Even if he like were to stab me in the leg, I'd be like, "Aw,
Oh,
aw, Chucky, you didn't mean that."
That was the sweetest little stab.
And then like punch him in the face or
Yeah,
something.
kick him. Too. Little punt. And I think that that's the crazy part about this movie is you have the gambit of like it can be really scary for people, But also there's the side of like that there is like inherent comedy in the fact that we have a doll running around killing people.
Yeah,
that is funny.
It's dark humor.
It's dark humor, and I think that they kind of know that too. They know the ridiculousness of...
Because he's punny.
He's punny. He's funny.
Hi. It's me, Chucky. What do you think? The gree work?
Good night, asshole.
I like the fact that this movie somehow lives on that line. And I think Scream is another good example of a movie that does that well, where it lives on the line of tipping towards comedy and then bringing you back to horror. And so you can have different kinds of experiences watching this movie. You can be really scared because there's some tense sequences that I think are done very well. But then there's actually like really funny parts of this doll just running around Chicago with his little boy.
A good guy. I knew it. I knew you'd get me one. Oh, Mom, thanks.
You're welcome, honey.
And the little boy's so cute, that little actor.
I did want to talk about the acting in general in the movie, and he's a highlight. He had great moments you really saw his journey. He felt like a genuine little kid that was put in an extraordinary circumstance and acted both childlike but also was smart.
Nobody believes you about Chucky unless you start telling the truth. Right now, they're going to take you away from me.
Come on, Chucky, say something. Tell me why you lied to me about everything. Mommy, he's doing it on purpose. He told me never to tell about him or he'd kill me.
You could clearly see his mind working to figure out how to defeat Chucky. And then he went about it in a kid way by using his toys. So in that way, I thought that this movie did a great respect to his character and made him feel true.
From that point, we had to find a little boy, and it's difficult to find a little kid that can really kind of go through what this film was about to ask of he and his family.
I got the audition for Child's Play. They brought me back for a callback, and I had to do the line, Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
He said Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
And then Karen, the mother, I also always really like her performance. I think that she depicts a struggling mother that's really trying hard to keep it together for her kid very well.
It's my son's birthday.
Mrs. Barclay, are you happy with your job here?
Yes, of course I am.
Then I suggest...
Hey, chill out, would you, Walter? Huh?
And then she's thrown into a situation where her child is saying things that are really scary. And from her perspective, he's having some sort of like mental break, maybe not coping with the death of his father.
What's he been saying?
His real name is Charles Lee Ray, and he's been sent down from heaven by Daddy to play with me.
And so you sympathize with her too, of the fact of like, damn, like, what do you do as a parent in this situation? But she's always going to Andy's side, and she is always trying to protect him.
If he says he doesn't know how those footprints got there, then he doesn't. All I know is that I've just lost my best friend tonight to a horrible accident, and I would like some time alone with my son, who I'm sure is just as upset about this as I am.
I'm sorry.
Even in these circumstances where she doesn't necessarily believe him, she is trying to protect him from being taken away. And I love that scene when they've taken Andy to the mental institution, and has that like one last try in the apartment to talk to the doll.
Say something, damn it!
Hi, I like to be hugged.
She just wants that doll to talk so she can then believe Andy.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't. And she goes through all those emotions of being like, yeah, fuck, I was wrong the whole time.
She's like, I fucking knew it.
I knew it.
I knew it.
Her worst fears came true. I just like how they've also given respect to her character of showing this journey of being really tired and really struggling in life to support yourself and your son, but then continuing to persevere and continuing to be at your child's side.
Yeah, I really love the scene in where Andy's making breakfast for his mom, and he's a child, so he's doing it in a very child way.
Oh, but it's a beautiful day outside, see?
It certainly is.
That scene does a amazing job of giving us the time to think that this kid is extremely cute and want to root for this kid just because he's doing these little kid things inherently that are cute and are going to make us care for him. And then where the scene ends, where he is serving his mom breakfast in bed, that is then informative of what the situation is for these characters. There is no dad. There's only a mom who's sleeping in on his birthday because she's probably working 6 to 7 days of the week to support both of them.
Oh, happy birthday, Pumpkin.
Thanks. Can we open my presents now, Mommy?
Yes, we can.
Terrific!
Great storytelling. We're not talking about it that much. We're seeing it play out. And then just from that scene, we care about these two characters to then take us through the rest of the movie and root for them.
I was not married. I was not a mother, and I'm playing a mother. It was my first mother role. Alex's mom gave me a little thing and said, tell him that this is for him.
She took me aside and she said, okay, this is a magic ball, and you're gonna hold on to this.
And so just slowly started to break down the ice.
It was like a real bonding experience for us, and I still have this thing at my house.
By the time we started principal photography, we were tight and close.
I thought both of them did great. As to the two leads,
Yeah, pretty good.
great casting.
Yeah. I mean, the cop guy is a cop guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's yeah.
We don't need much from
It's
him.
stale.
To train for Mike, I actually spent some time with the Chicago Police Department, which is not all that unusual. I went on a couple of actually rather frightening calls with these two detectives that I worked with, and I must say, I was scared witless.
The police force. Let me
Classic.
tell you.
They fucked up. Really,
Terrible.
Really failed our youth on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then the mom comes over to the cop and is like, hey, the doll is alive.
What are you talking about?
He came alive in my hand. I dropped him and he got up and ran out of the apartment.
Good night, Mrs. Barkley.
Good night, Mrs. Barkley.
Good night. Go home.
Go home, Miss Barkley.
I need to go home.
Yeah, a long day.
I
Nabbing
mean-
serial killers.
I mean, granted, yes, he probably hasn't slept in a couple of days.
I mean, he does work for the Chicago police, so they're fucking
And there
busy.
was a serial killer around. So I'm pretty sure he did not sleep.
It's like, finally I can sleep. And then we got this mom and kid coming in talking about a killer doll. You kidding me?
I'm done with this.
God damn it.
Anything else in the can you want to talk about?
I mean, costume wise, I really liked that they dressed the little Andy as the doll.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, that's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
So cute. That's it.
Yeah.
We can move on now.
Okay. Yeah. We got to just reiterate. Cute kid.
Cute.
Cute clothes.
My goodness.
Little shoes, and they match the doll. All right, let's get to the meat then.
Meat.
What are we talking about? We started to kind of talk about it. Really having to question the things that are like really important to them. And what is important to the mom, Karen, at the beginning, is to just give Andy a quote unquote normal childhood. And unfortunately, when you're desperate to do something, you're put in sometimes inadvertently bad situations. And she ended up bringing something bad into the household.
There you go, lady. May it bring you and your kid a lot of joy. Huh?
Thank you.
I just started thinking about like the larger picture of this movie. And I don't know if they were thinking about this when they made it. I presume they were. But is this a movie about the dangers of capitalism?
I mean, I think they're playing with themes of that.
Yeah. we get it right in the first scene of the advertisements. Andy is wearing the good guy's pajamas. He's eating the good guy's cereal. He's watching the good guy's show. Everything is being shoved into his face, and therefore he thinks that he really needs it. He wants it, of course. That then causes Karen to need to work even harder to then go out and get the thing that Andy really wants, which is this toy. Then you bring that into your house and it's evil. And so it's this cycle of you trying to get the next best thing, but then when you get it, is it really that good? And what's sad is that capitalism a lot of times takes advantage of the most vulnerable people in our society. The lowest class, the people with the least amount of income that are struggling the most. And these people are clearly in that bracket.
I wanted to write something that was a dark, satirical look about the world of children's marketing.
Fuck capitalism, man. You really put these people in a lot of danger.
Just don't buy talking dolls. Let's stop making dolls talk. We don't need them to talk.
Don't make them talk. Don't make them pee. Don't make them poo.
Don't make them have babies.
Yeah.
Do
babies
you remember?
Yeah. The 80s.
Barbie had a baby.
80s were weird for dolls and what their abilities were. So makes perfect sense that we have one that now can kill you.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
All right, let's get to the cook.
Let's cook it up.
Cook it up, Buttercup. What I like about the cook about this movie, we kind of started to already talk about it, is kind of just the progression that we see of these characters and how that informs us back to the meat of this movie, which is, kind of just people that are struggling through, we keep calling it capitalism, but it's just kind of struggling through life and the resistance that you have to have when you're faced up against something that is putting what you love in danger. And the movie did a great job of having us see Andy and Karen's relationship and allowed them time for us to care about them and see that they are a great team, for then to them throw us into a slasher movie essentially with them. And then we were rooting for them the rest of the way because we cared about them. They took that time for us to build this emotional connection with them.
I gotta give you your super duper birthday Tommy Gummy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. That's one. How many years old are you today? 2?
So I thought the cook of the character arcs was great, really.
And you know what I really appreciate that they didn't do? Make the mom fall in love with the cop.
Right.
She had no time to worry about her romantic life.
There wasn't even a hint of it.
No.
They were just
no.
She was just using him to essentially get into places.
What? You gonna call me?
You don't give up, do you?
I just, I hate loose ends.
And I hate people who don't know when to stop.
Ouch!
Yeah, I just really, really appreciated that the script, we didn't get that, because then the logistics of Karen's character would not make sense.
No.
Like, who has time for that during a state of fucking manic?
Yeah. Well, this is about her protecting her son.
Exactly.
So no way. She's
no
nothing
way.
about it.
So, but like they would have done that in the 80s.
Yes.
So like I really appreciate it that they kept this mother and son beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
Like you said, they were a really good team.
Oh, I know. You want some toys, don't you? Not boring old clothes.
And then once we got into the actual horror movie part of it, I also appreciated how they sparsed out, first of all, revealing Chucky in his full Chucky evil form. I love those little hints of his hands and like a second of him running out of a room. Really appreciated that they let that draw out. And then these like classic slasher moments that we're getting. I mean, it's this tip of the hat that they're doing to these other movies that really, in some ways defined the horror genre. Halloween, you know, I saw so many Halloween shots. Nightmare on Elm Street with the finger gloves, and The Shining too, when she's against the door and he's stabbing through it.
I saw the Terminator a little bit in
and
there
the Terminator too, when
that
last fucking
when
burn
he's
walk.
all
Oh my God.
he's completely burnt.
And then doing it in their own little wacky way because it's a doll. So how do we take those classic tropes and then put them in a doll perspective? And it makes this fun mixture of a horror movie, but it's fun. It's fun along the way. So I thought at least the cook of it worked for me.
It worked for me as well.
The one thing I will say is at the end, it did feel like he came back like 8 times. And then finally the like doofy other cop that's in like 3 scenes is the one that comes in and has this whole like,
the kid was right. The doll's alive. You almost got the 3 of us. Come on, what are you talking about? You don't believe me? All right, well, go on. Check it out in the hall. But don't touch it. Do you understand me? Don't you touch one part of it.
All right, look, take it easy, okay?
I'm like, why did we even bring this character back?
Was he like someone's brother? Like little brother, and he's like, I don't want to be in the film.
Wait, why don't I get to be at the end?
What does he get all the fun?
Yeah.
And then he was like, okay, fine, you'll be this character. And then he's like barely able to pronunciate anything.
Who's Chucky? Kid's doll, the same one that was at the station house. Have you seen him anywhere? What am I gonna know about a doll? Where are you going?
He was a terrible cop. He couldn't even talk. He literally couldn't talk.
Please take his gun away. Take it away.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that was silly, for sure.
I've always just been confused by that moment. That beat at the end feels a little awkward for me. How he comes back so many times.
For him to deliver the last line, which is, how are people going to believe me?
Mm-hmm.
That was really great as to how maybe the curse of the doll continues.
Believe me now? Yeah. But who's gonna believe me?
I do like that moment because then it does put in context of like, shit, like,
Because then
they're all kind of fucked now.
Because then it goes further. Like, if we believe that this doll was alive and murdered people, then we have to believe that then dark magic exists and there is such a thing as being able to put your soul into an inanimate object.
Yes. And then it just ripples out from there. It's like, okay, wait, then what is possible after that? If
That's nuts.
That's one spell.
Aliens.
Yeah.
A Bigfoot.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of like breaking your reality.
Yeah. Who wants to do that?
I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Let's get to the thrill.
Wow.
Let's talk about our infamous killer, Charles Lee Ray, a.k.a. Chucky.
Wowzies.
Evil doll. I mean, after this movie, Chucky goes through many forms of being fucked up and scarred and burned and blown up, cut to pieces. But he seems to always come back.
He pulls through.
Always pulls through.
Oh my God.
There's always.
I love his progression as well. He did become scarier as the film goes on because he's supposed to put himself in the body of the first person he told his truth to.
You have to transfer your soul out of the doll into that of the first human being you revealed your true self to.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. The first person I let in on my little secret was a 6-year-old kid.
Wow. That's like pulled out of a fortune cookie.
What a rule.
The next person you see, you must tell them your darkest secret.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad they established that rule.
Yeah.
Pretty explicitly.
Yes, and that is why we're chasing after young little Andy.
I got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
That line was terrible.
Terrible.
Well, John, it's been fun, but I gotta go. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Chucky, played by Brad Dourif, who
Yeah.
This is the second time that we've seen him this season. previously we saw him on
Death Machine.
He was disgusting in that movie.
Right. Time of the month.
Yeah, so that was an unfortunate performance by Brad Dourif because I had seen this movie plenty of times before that, and I knew he was the voice of Chucky. And I think he's a great voice of Chucky. I think he has a great voice to embody that kind of like childlike whimsicalness when he wants to turn that charm on. But then he can turn like really evil, really fast, and the laugh too is just, it's a cackle.
Won't do you any good, Mikey.
It works. I think he does. His voice performance in this is great.
Oh yeah.
And going forward, he's always the voice of Chucky now.
And I didn't know that it was him.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we saw him in the beginning, I was like, hey, it's that guy. I'm really happy. No offense to you, Brad Dourif. I'm glad that we just heard his voice. I didn't want to see him again all throughout the film being nasty.
No.
Good night, asshole. But the rehearsal went great because I was acting out Chucky as the doll.
He would be the doll. He was Chucky.
We didn't need it.
Yeah. But yeah, like Chucky, I think it still hits. I don't think it's supposed to be like truly the most scariest thing you've ever seen.
Mm-mm.
It's supposed to be more funny than anything else.
Yeah.
That's how I read it.
Yeah. It's more, I think of it as more fun.
Yeah.
A fun ride. I mean, they have sequences, like I said, of, I think, thriller. And I just think it's just great restraint that they have in this scene and in the movie in general for us to get to this moment of finally seeing Chucky go total Chucky. And that's the first time that we get the, like, intense animatronics of him screaming at her, biting her.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
It was just a great reveal of the killer. I really, really enjoy the horror aspects of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because then in the end, I mean, it was just kind of fun. Just like an evil doll attacking this lady.
And then how they had... Do you know the trivia of how many dolls they had to make?
I don't know.
There's one puppeteer that just does the eyes. Then you've got a guy that does the brows and the cheeks. You have another guy that just does the mouth. So he's doing the jaw with a mechanism that goes on his head.
Maggie. Yeah, Aunt Maggie.
So there's 3 people that just work Chucky's face.
Just like the engineering is just amazing.
Amazing.
So like, it's not you just like writing a story. Now on top of it, you have to add all of this like science to it that I think is just, how can you not like this film in its, artistic way?
And it goes back to this idea that filmmaking is problem solving. You're presented with a story, and then everyone else's job around that is to problem solve. How do we get this to read on film? And
Shooting a doll?
Shooting a doll. How do we make that exciting? How do we make that scary? How do we just logistically do it without revealing that it's just a limp doll? How do we give it life? And you saw them trying a bunch of different techniques to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really appreciate the care that they gave to that element of giving this evil doll life. Because it was a crew effort for sure.
A village.
It takes a village. It takes a village.
Village, man.
And he ends up being a very quippy, very evil, nasty old doll.
I am amazed in looking at it, what we were able to accomplish with very simple, rudimentary filmmaking techniques. There's a scene where Chucky's walking down a hall, and what you don't see is that there's a dolly that's being pushed as the camera's on him as he's looking back and forth across this hall. And it worked incredibly well. Sometimes we would use a version of the house that was 30% larger. So when we put a little person in a costume, that little person looked like he was much smaller.
I mean, there's some good kills. There are some fun kills. Or just sequences, like in general. The Maggie sequence that leads up to the first kill of the movie, I think is pretty well done too.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of have a fake out.
How did that happen?
Hello?
Got you.
It got me. I threw my hands up in defeat, and I was like, "Yep, you got me."
And then she even reassures herself in the movie. She's like, "I'm being ridiculous."
It's
and then
just a doll.
turns around. Fun kills, evil dolls running around. Love that.
What more do you need from a fucking scary doll movie? Come on.
Yeah. What more do you need? What more do you need? What more do you want? We'll
Well-
see you in Chucky 2, huh? Child's Play 2.
When like CGI was just like coming up, you know, barely used.
In this movie, not at all. Because this was, I think right before people started to experiment with CGI in film. 90s they're starting to dip into it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God there was none of that attempt in this. This was all practical.
Do they use that nowadays? Like, I've not seen okay, I saw part of an episode at a comedy theater.
Of the Chucky show?
Yeah, and I
I'm
was
not
just
sure.
like, this looks bad.
I have seen a good amount of the preceding Chucky movies
Mhm.
after this. We get to a point where they're using CGI, for sure. For the most part, they do keep to the practicalness of the doll.
Nice.
It kind of has that charm about it.
Yeah.
It needs to.
It is probably one of the biggest franchise to use animatronics like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's the only one. I'm just saying that, like, for it going about 20, 40 years now or something like that, 30 years.
40 years. Wow.
So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I ask, because I want them to be able to continue with its practical effects.
Yeah.
More so than CGI.
Well, and like I said, Don Mancini attaches himself to all the projects because that's probably something that he cares about too.
We began what became a tradition for all 5 films where we would first stand in line, we would just sort of be incognito as if we had nothing to do with the film, and would say, hey, I hear this movie's really scary.
We would plant ourselves in the audience, and moments before a scary scene was going to come up, one of us would inevitably scream, and your timing would have to be perfect, because if you were off, you would just look like you're insane. And Don made fun of me for many years because I screamed something about a torso that was cut in half or something.
You went, oh my God, a torso!
Let's get to the ride.
Let's ride it out.
The final ride. Fun ride. Always. There's a reason that I always enjoy watching this.
It's a doll.
A fucking doll.
Don't take it so seriously.
It's
This
funny.
is funny.
Yeah.
This is fun.
It's funny and fun.
It's fun.
Yes. And I also, cherry on the top is it's set in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm a little biased. When a film is shot here, I'm just like, it's cute.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it. Yeah.
Come to the second city.
Second wing, when I'm back to the second city, I feel it. Yeah.
Child's Play. 1988. Let's get to these Smash Pumpkins. As we started last week, instead of reiterating all the things that we just talked about, we've each written our own little log lines for Child's Play that we will reveal and then reveal our Smash Pumpkin rating.
I love that, like, now all of a sudden I have a notebook in my hand.
The power of editing. It's magic. Black magic. So, do you have your log line and number? Do you want me to
go? Who went first last time? I can't remember.
You want me to go? I'll
You go.
All right. Here we go. It's the holidays in Chicago, and guess who's coming to town? No, not Father Christmas, but the brand new Good Guy doll. Fully loaded with bloodlust and boy lust. Includes batteries and the need to teach this boy and his mother the evils of capitalism. Coming to a store near you.
Yeah.
Ugly doll. Fuck you.
I love
Four. Four Smash Pumpkins. For Child's Play.
That was good. That was pretty good.
Sold it.
All right. Here's mine. Karen, a recent widow from Chicago, struggles to get her innocent 6-year-old child, Andy, the perfect gift. That's until she's guided to buy the doll from a creepy man in the back alley of her job. Desperate times calls for desperate measures for not just a family, but something much cuter and gooder than capitalism. Careful what you wish for.
We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
Gooder.
Gooder. Get it? Because good guys?
Good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And?
3.5.
3.5. Woo. Child's Play, 88. What a fun one.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Glad we got to revisit it.
Yes, I haven't seen it since I was a child.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Pretty fun.
Well, let's put it to bed and let's see what we're getting next week, shall we?
All right. Is it my turn?
I think so.
Did you pull this?
I think I pulled this. I want to say I pulled this.
Okay.
I want to say that.
You want to say it?
I want to say it. I'm going to say it.
I'm going to say it. All right. Come on. I want an alien movie.
Give us aliens.
But like signs. I want signs.
Okay. You want signs?
I want signs. The signs. Is it the signs or
I think
signs?
it's just signs.
All right. Give me that sweet shamalama.
Shamalama ding dong.
No way.
Did you get it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's another one that I've been asking for.
Oh, sweet.
When Keller Dover's daughter and her friends go missing, he takes matters into his own hands as the police pursue multiple leads and the pressure mounts.
Uh-oh. Is this Denis Villeneuve? Prisoners?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Exciting.
Wow, you have been asking for this since like we started.
This would have been in my top 3 if it was drawn a little sooner.
Yeah, wow. Dang.
Hoofda.
For
Hoofda
sure.
indeed.
This is going to be a dark one. Prisoners.
Very dark.
We're trapped.
But who are we? They're all trapped in their own way.
In their own way. Ooh. I don't want to be trapped like Paul Dano.
I don't want to be the children.
Or the children.
I don't want to be anybody in this instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week for that.
Yeah. I don't even want to be me. No, I'm just kidding. But anywho. I do want you to be you because I want you to call us. We have a phone number and it is 773-669-6677. Oh boy. Let me see if I can get through my Instagram handle. Color me Wesley? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Color me Leslie.
It's on the bottom of the screen. Just go off that. And
just bleep it out.
I'll just change it to Wesley.
Oh no.
And you can follow me at Beep Beep Richie T. That's as is.
Yeah.
You can follow us at the Deadlights Pod. But until next time,
let's get spooky.
Ooh. Will you be my best friend till the end?
I need a hug.